TALIA and the Palindrome. Talia was tall, pretty, and talented, and one of Talia's greatest talents was her tongue. Not only could she say, "Peter Piper picked a peck of purple pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pallid pickled peppers, where's the peck of purple pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?" very quickly, but she wasn't rattled by "Send toast to 10 stout saints, 10 tall tents," or "She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells that she sells are very nice, I'm sure." Tongue twisters like these didn't daunt her in the least. Talia was so good at twisting her tongue around tongue twisters that she considered something like, "How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?" completely beneath her dignity. Talia could do almost anything with her tongue. She could curl it upwards into a roll, which most people can do. She could curl it downwards into a roll, which not many people can do. She could roll it backwards into her mouth or stick it out to touch the nose or the bottom of her chin. She could even twist it like a bow-shaped piece of Italian pasta known as farfalle, which nearly no one other than Talia could do. In short, Talia was the undisputed queen of the tongue twisters. She would taste the words, long, delicious, and delightful, and roll them around in her mouth as she spoke. Words gave her a special power, and Talia used it to baffle her friends by giving old words startling new meanings, and vice versa. Once there was an elephant who tried to use the telephone. No, I mean an elephone who tried to use the telephone. Dear me, I'm not certain quite that even now I've got it right. However it was, the more he tried to get it free, the louder buzzed the telephone. I fear I'd better drop the song or vele fop and telefong. This was, in fact, her favourite poem, and it would get recited 10 times in a row without stopping, to the exasperation of her mother. One day, being a little bored with tying her tongue in knots, especially as there was no one in the vicinity to make admiring noises, Talia decided to set out on an adventure. She got changed into her most adventurous dress, and once appropriately bedecked and bedazzling, set off for the aerodrome, which was only a short walk across the park, to see if an obliging pilot would fly her somewhere interesting. But all she found was a deserted landing strip with a solitary windsock flapping listlessly in the sultry air. The plains were dry and dusty. The aerodrome had closed up for the summer holidays. Unfazed by this minor setback, Talia continued a little bit further down the road to the velodrome, where she and her father had often been to watch bicycles go round in circles until Talia was quite dizzy. The velodrome was also closed for the summer. Talia set off once more, following the main road along the park until she found herself at the hippodrome. "Here at least I'll find something interesting." However, Talia's streak of bad luck continued. Instead of a circus tent filled with hip-hop dancing hippopotamuses, which she had so hoped for, the curtains were drawn, the tent flaps closed. It seemed the whole city was shut for the holidays. What to do now? Talia was not one to be easily discouraged. In fact, her tenacity was legendary, almost as famous as her tongue-twisting talents. Some way off, at the end of a long and rather narrow lane, Talia saw an impressive-looking building overgrown with ivy, sporting a large, barely legible sign, Palindrome. "Oh, this looks interesting," thought Talia. On the enormous door she could make out the following words in majestic Latin: "Sater arepotenit opera rotas." Who knows what that means? Thought Talia to herself. Even though this place looked slightly abandoned, she was not quite ready to give up. So she knocked loudly 3 times and held her breath. Suddenly the door flew open and she was greeted by a young man.
"Namrood. 00 Namrood."
"00?" asked Talia.
00 as in Otto. Welcome to the palindrome. Or, if you wish, just the plain drome.
He pointed Talia towards the other side, where she was met by a tall, bespectacled gentleman.
Madam, in Eden I'm Adam. I'm the director of the palindrome.
Talia, proud of her unique talent, quickly replied, I am the director of Taliadrome's Tongue Twisters Association, then quickly stuck her tongue out as a way of presenting her credentials. Adam smiled, however, did not stick his tongue out in return.
Ma is as selfless as I am, but otherwise we are not a very polite family. Even so, I would not generally make faces at guests.
Leaving Namrood to mind the door, Adam led Talia to a seat high above an oval track. Far below, objects whirled around the track. What are they?
Race cars,
answered Adam.
We used to have kayaks, but they were rather slow. They arrive every morning and spend the day going round and round in circles. It is our civic duty to let them have their sport. We track them on the radar and make sure they keep as level as possible.
Talia's attention had been arrested by the toot of a large red horn, bigger and redder than anything she had ever seen, being blown furiously by a small greyish owl whose cheeks seemed almost ready to pop. Excuse me, what were you saying? Said Talia again.
Level, madam, level. We have to keep them level. Otherwise, they fall off the track.
How many are there?
It depends. Sometimes too many, in which case we take one away, otherwise too few, so we add one. The numbers even change. But what's odd, at the palindrome, they are never odd or even.
Well, don't they ever need to take a rest?
Noon, Tal, at noon. And after they've had a break, we call in the reviver with his rotor to get them going again.
Was it a rat I saw? Asked Talia, rather anxiously, distracted by a scurrying followed by a flicker of a long grey tail.
Quite possibly. The palindrome is full of all sorts of domestic animals. Celebrity mice, star rats, AWOL owls, and DJ dogs. In the corner over there, a number of Neapolitan spiders are busy dancing away the afternoon and drinking minty drinks. No lemon, no melon. But be careful when you walk around, for at the palindrome we have a rule. Step on no pets.
Suddenly, Namrood came rushing up the stairs, his robes flowing behind him, his turban askew, shouting in a foreign tongue, then grumbled,
Damn it! I'm mad! Mr. Owl ate my metal worm!
Adam tried to calm him.
Impossible! Look! Mr. Owl is over there, tooting his horn.
But Namrood would have none of it and rushed off, waving his arms wildly, his turban unravelling as he went. Wow! What an odd place, thought Talia to herself as she took a leave and raced back home, up the windy lane towards the park. All in all, this was rather la-in-la. My oh, YM, what a day out. Talia droned back. Mom, I'm home. Talia's mother, rather amused, picked up on the race.
Eh, ça va la vache? À l'hôtel, elle alla. Elle le tua. Là.
Talia swiftly switched to her French mother's mother tongue and replied, J'engage le jeu que je le gagne.
Pas de question, ma chère. Ce repère, Pérec, non Queneau, qui a écrit la morale, Claro. Mal bien longtemps avant ta naissance. Donc, cassez vite ce palindrome, ne mord ni lappe cet ivre sac. Ésope reste ici et se repose.
Slightly shaken, Talia still wasn't one to give up easily, and certainly not to her mother. She drew herself up and said, 22 twisty-tongued tarantulas translated Talia's tongue twisters into 22 tantalizing tarantellas 22 times without making a single mistake. What could her mother do but smile?
Et voilà! Abracadabra! Et taratata, ma fille.
Talented and pretty tall was Talia.